Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, sitting next to the fantasy football guru himself, Tyler Merkovich, bring you his top 10 tight ends in the fantasy football league this season. Top tight ends you want to draft in your fantasy drafts, which are probably coming up as the summer progresses. So let's go with the list. Number one on your list, and I'm guessing it's not Jonathan Hayes.
Absolutely not. Kyle Brady just missed the top 10.
Just missed the list.
Just kidding. JERMICEAEL Finley, number one, Green Bay Packers, third-year guy out of Texas. Really came on. I know his numbers down compared to the other guys in this top 10. 676 yards, 5 touchdowns, 71 targets. But listen, first half of the year, he missed the first 3 games. And from week 11 through the wild card playoff game, he had 43 receptions. He's coming into his 3rd year, and Rodgers just loved him down the stretch. So I think he's going to be a big target for Rodgers. Take him as your number one tight end.
Yeah, he's probably one of the more athletic tight ends in the league. I really like Finley.
6'5", 245. This guy has all the tools to be a great tight end.
Yep. Hey, let's go to number 2. Who you have on the list?
Mr. Reliable out of that Mr. Reliable offense led by Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne. It's Dallas Clark. 100 receptions. He was targeted 132 times. Got into the end zone for double digits with 10 and over 1,100 yards. So, I mean, he's still in his early 30s. He's still got years. I was just waiting for this guy to get injured forever, but he stays healthy, and no other tight ends on this team. You know Manning loves him, so Dallas Clark, you got to have Mr. Reliable, top 2.
He drives defensive coordinators crazy. 1, because he wears number 44. 2, because he runs stupid. So
underrated.
He's a talented tight end. Very, very talented tight end. Number 3 on your list.
Well, a more recognized guy, that's Antonio Gates, the former basketball player. This guy just seems like he'd go up and win any jump ball. He's a great basketball player at Kent State, as we all know. Only 79 receptions, but 8 touchdowns, 114 targeted. Rivers needs to use him early those first 3 games without VJax. I think he'll be better with VJax and Malcolm Floyd, but Gates still has some years. He'll get the yardage, and they'll rely on him to get around 80 yards per game. He had over 1,150 last year, so Antonio Gates is my number 3.
Yeah, if he can shake the injuries, he's going to be outstanding this year. Even before the injuries, he's the one guy that I thought always ran like his feet hurt. So that's always something I always liked about him as well. 4th on your list.
Well, another kind of under the radar guy out of Cincinnati, it's Brent Selleck. Played in 16 games last year, 76 receptions, 8 touchdowns. So that's a breakout year for Selleck. He was targeted 112 times by Donovan McNabb. But both of those games Kevin Cobb was in, he had 8 receptions for 104 yards and had a touchdown in one of the games. So Cobb's really going to look, he's a very good intermediate passer, and he's going to love Selleck. He's going to love him in the red zone. This is why I have him in my top 4.
And Selleck has a lot of speed at the tight end position. Underrated speed, guy that can run like the wind. 5th on your list.
Well, a guy who I think is going to have a bounce back year from a 2-touchdown total performance, that's Jason Witten. You know, he said it himself, his goal is to score more touchdowns. I think he'll take away those touchdowns from some other guys, such as Marion Barber and Miles Austin. 94 receptions. He was targeted 124 times, so that's a lot for Tony Romo. You know the relationship they have, the buddy-buddy relationship. 130 yards. Jason Witten, put him in your top 5. Bank him in for 8 touchdowns.
Witten is one guy that doesn't have a lot of speed, and it's funny to watch him play because he makes everyone around him run his speed. Like if you're a defender, run up, you always slow down.
Oh yeah, you got to put the brakes on him. He's built like a tree.
Exactly. 6 on your list. Who you
Get ready to get hurt when you tackle him. Well, it's Vernon Davis. I know the year he had last year. What a year! I mean, some waiver wire. Well, they picked him up because they gave up on him. I remember I picked this guy way early a couple years ago in the draft, and what was a mistake? But he has really come around. 965 yards, 13 touchdowns. He was targeted 129. So Alex Smith loves him. Question is, will he stay consistent? I know a lot of people have him top 3, but I'm going to put him at 6 right now. I think Crabtree will blow up. I think Morgan could blow up. And Vernon Davis still in my top 10, though.
And he still has dreads, so you got to look at it like that. 7th on your list.
Well, Tony Gonzalez. I know he showed a lot of age last year, but the Ryan and Turner development could pan out well for him. He had a down year, 83 receptions, 867 yards, only 6 touchdowns, but he was targeted 135 times, the most in my top 10. So Matt Ryan likes him, and I think you still got to have him in your top 7 because he still has potential and he still has years left in the result.
And he still has the same face mask that he probably used when he was in Kansas City. Gotta love Tony Gonzalez's face mask. 8th on your list.
well, Visanthe Shanko, and he really gets a lot of bang for his buck. He makes the best out of his catches because he had the least receptions on this list, right next to JERMICEAEL Finley, who really didn't develop till the second half of the year. 56 receptions last year, but 11 touchdowns. He was targeted 79 times. So Favre over the middle, Shanko, it's either touchdown, it's usually a touchdown. So I have Shanko in my top 10, top 8.
Visanthe Shanko sounds like something you catch on your feet, but yeah, he improved year 1, year 2. Really impressed the growth Shanko showed. I'm looking forward to seeing him more so this season. 9th on the list.
Well, Kellen Winslow really bounced back to his 07 form last year, of course. I know they had trouble passing the ball, but he still had 77 receptions, 884 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Freeman targeted him 127 times. Got to put him on your top 10. You're not sure about the other receivers, but still, he can be very productive in the passing game for Freeman.
And we know Kellen Winslow is still a soldier. Number 10 on your list, who you have?
Well, this may surprise people. It's Heath Miller. Without Santonio Holmes, Hines Ward, who knows about him, Ben Roethlisberger out the first 4 games, but Heath Miller had a career high in yards and receptions, and he had 76 receptions, 6 touchdowns last year, was targeted 97 times, so Big Ben really needs to look for the short-handed big tight ends a lot more this year.
He might have my vote as the most underrated player in the league. One of the best tight ends coming out of the University of
His numbers fluctuating,
right.
But this is the year that he can really put up consistent numbers and get that double-digit touchdown mark.
Yeah, I like Heath Miller a lot. So that's your top 10 list. I guess no Ben Coates, so no Marty Lyons.
Shannon Sharp almost made it as a retired man.
All right. You still can catch the football. I give him props on that. To check out more of Tyler's fantasy football videos, visit youtube.com/footballgameplan or visit our website at footballgameplan.com/fantasy.